Hi there.
Good evening.
Do you see me? I don't, my video doesn't seem to be.
No, no, I
Oh,
do not.
okay. Let me try to fix that. Hold on.
Now I can see you.
All right, good.
I mean, I think I thought we told all the professional support people that they didn't need to attend tonight.
Oh, really?
Our last applicant, our only applicant for tonight's um, meeting has sought an adjournment. So we're on for administrative reasons only, and in that regard, most of what we're going to do is make sure the minutes are properly voted. We should be off very quickly.
Okay.
We
Do you
didn't
want me to
mean
hang up? I mean, I didn't realize that.
We didn't mean to ruin your night. You can go.
Okay, that sounds, the only thing I know that Seamus and I and Amber had met earlier today.
Oh, okay. So you may have something on LWRP. Then
Yeah, that would be.
then hang on.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. We've got a very short agenda. We'll talk about the LWRP and the minutes, and then we'll be done.
Sounds good.
All right, Andrew, we got you, me. I'm expecting if we get Seamus and Lisa, we've got a quorum. If we also get Randy, then we've got a new member who will very quickly get up to speed. Hey, Charlie, I thought we said professionals didn't need to be on tonight because the applicants are off and this is going to be a very short meeting.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, you're here. All right. Since our only applicant asked for an adjournment, we didn't need to ruin anybody's evening.
Well, the good thing is we didn't have to commute too far.
That's true.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, this is Randy.
Folks, Randy Cellular is our newest member. So you'll have the opportunity to get to know
someday.
him. Someday we'll be back in person.
Yeah. Well, I got an appointment for a shot. That's the good news. The bad news is it's March 31st. Better than never, I guess.
Nice to have it on the books at least.
Yes.
My wife works for a hospital system, so
Wow.
She's already got 2 shots of Moderna.
Great.
All right, quorum. Welcome, Seamus.
Everyone.
Amber.
I guess we're a minute early, and we should wait for Lisa. And in case anybody was behind the developments, we had one applicant item on for this evening. That was 1165 Grecian. They have sought an adjournment. So we're not going to be taking up any applicant facing items, which makes this a very short agenda. We're going to have an update on LWRP, which I think may be short, and we're going to discuss and hopefully vote minutes. We've got 2 back minutes that have not yet been approved from September and October. I'm not sure that, I'm not sure Lisa is coming. So since we have a quorum, I guess we could probably get started. We're now recording, Amber?
I'm just hitting through to the live stream, which will take just a minute to connect. Okay, we seem to be streaming now.
All right. And I will move to open the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
And the meeting's open. Folks at home, you can, as usual, watch us through the cable access channel or through our YouTube streaming or through Zoom. If one of those doesn't work, try one of the other ones. If you're paying attention at home, we really appreciate your engagement. Tonight will be a short meeting because our applicants have sought adjournments. We have no applicant items this evening, which makes I guess the first item we should take up is probably just minutes. We have had circulated a set of September minutes. I've had the opportunity to review them. Are there any discussion items on those? Anybody see anything that that they didn't think correctly reflected the meeting? All right, I'm going to move to adopt the September meeting minutes. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the October minutes, quite a bit shorter. I've reviewed those. I didn't have any changes. Did anybody have any changes to the October minutes? I'm going to move that we adopt the October minutes. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we've got our prepared minutes done. We've been slow on minutes. Now that we have managed to get our administrative backlog tamed, I'm going to aim to be better about turning around minutes, and we'll try not to let those hang out there unadopted the way we have in the past. LWRP, I saw a worksheet circulated. Seamus, can you bring us up to speed?
Yep. So two things are posted, and I think we've discussed this process in the past. So the updated version of the actual LWRP itself, we had a prior red line. I accepted the majority of the changes, which all made sense. Resolved the comments that we'd resolved. So we have kind of a new clean document. I expect that will happen each month. So anyone can and should feel free to review each step along the way and can flag anything that they'd like to me. So we have that updated version, and we have a path forward from discussion that we had earlier today. So I'll talk about that. I think at some point it's going to make sense for everyone who wants to probably give a thorough read to this document at a certain point. That may be a month or two out if you just want to wait for a few more things to get aggregated into it. So Steve Gates and I and Amber talked today. We're going to look through the maps, which we've now inventoried. There's 15 figures. They're in varying states of acceptableness, I think. Some of them are detailed enough when you zoom in and have an appropriate overlay. Some of them don't really have the resolution that we probably want. So Steve and I are going to talk next week about just if we can add in some street names on a few of them to orient people, or if maybe it's worth regenerating one or two of those. So we have sort of a map improvement process underway. I have on our issues list inventoried some of the missing things that were in our original 1984 LWRP that Doreen, prior member of the commission, had put together. So we're tracking those and we'll incorporate those items in to the best we can. And on maps, there's probably one other, maybe longer term item that we can come back to later in this process, which I think it might make sense for the village to have something like the, Steve, what's the name of New York City's?
Zola NYC.
Yeah,
Zola NYC.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it might make sense for the village to look into having a GIS map with a number of different overlays and layers that could be toggled on and off that would include the items that our LWRP points to, which is land use, flood zones, steep slopes, high water tables, etc. But that's probably a broader village effort, both timeline, scope, cost, and so on. So just to put in your mind, I think at some point I might want to discuss us writing a letter to the Board of Trustees and suggesting such a tool to support the LWRP. That said, Steve and I are gonna work to improve the maps the best we can on a reasonable basis for this PDF. And then the final point is we have an issues list that we're tracking that I think has most of the open items in it. If anybody would like to add items, please email me. I'll put them in for our next meeting. And I think the big one that we're going to knock off between now and our next meeting would be to hopefully do the formatting work of putting the table of contents in and making that a linked up table of contents that helps navigate through the Microsoft Word document. And second, Amber's going to help me to schedule a call. I don't know if that's with you, Charles, or some legal input. And will be a very targeted list. I think we have 8 or so sections of the LWRP that probably just need to be confirmed for a legal village code consistency with the latest lay of the land on that front. So that's something that Amber's going to help schedule. And by the next turn of the document for next month, we'll have tried to do 2 things or 3 things. The table of contents, cleaned up the legal village code items, and improved the maps, or at least have a plan to the maps. And then I'll update again from there. But Amber, Steve, or anyone who wants to add to that, please do. That's where I think we're at today.
I think you pretty much covered it.
I'm also going to be following up with our previous planner who worked on some of these map updates to ensure that the data is accessible for these and to eliminate any redundancies in work, to get those up to speed and make any changes as possible and as needed. So we don't currently have some of the data, but I'll be looking into where that might be. It must be somewhere, so I'm sure it's just a matter of locating where it is. That's all.
Thank you very much. That's this has been moving along after being stalled for a long time. I really appreciate Seamus, you taking the lead, and Amber and Steve and all the help you've provided on this project. It's moving forward. We'll get our new LWRP actually done. Okay, folks, we have for next meeting, we're going to have a significant applicant agenda. We're going to have, I expect we're going to have back 1165 Grecian. I expect we're going to have back 652 Shore Acres, and I expect we're going to have back 1025 Rushmore. It's going to be a very full night. I think hopefully we're fairly light on the administrative agenda, but those are going to be a lot of applicant items with a lot of technical stuff. There's going to be a lot of reading. So let's all be prepared. All right, and with that, I think we have run the agenda unless anybody has anything else. I'm going to move to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
New record. Thank you, folks. Much appreciated.
And they told me this was going to be a lot of work.
They're ready. They're ready.
Wait,
Next week,
wait
we'll
till
average
next
out.
month, Randy.
Right. It's like the difference,
You're-
between
you'll-
the average.
You'll-
Averages
you'll-
would be 1 in
you'll
100
learn.
averages to 50, right? Got it.
It will average out. We'll start catching up next month.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much, folks.
Good night,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Right.